you definitely know the vibes, and you definitely know who I am. And just in case you don't, I'm Erica Kels Kelly of the Life is Tricky podcast. You know, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. So, what is Soul Purpose 2.0? So, Soul Purpose 1, the original, was basically a breakdown and a reaction of the movie Soul Purpose that is on Disney, right? And I thought about Soul Purpose 2.0 because I was just fiddling my thumbs trying to figure it out. I knew I had to come back. I really kind of sort of was just going to scrap out the podcast portion of Life is Tricky, the Life is Tricky brand, but too many people kept asking me about it. So that alone let me know that I cannot quit. And I'm just being very honest, very transparent. I really was done with podcasting. And every now and then I would just get the urge to put out an episode. Every time I attempted to put out an episode, the creative process just wasn't going. And then I tried to get in front of the camera, and that was a fail. And so I started to brainstorm. And I said, let me go listen to some old episodes. And when I got to Soul Purpose, I said, this is it. This is it. I have to do a Soul Purpose 2.0. And it's just funny how life lifes. So I was a panelist. Shout outs to Cheyenne Wisdom, shout outs to Wisdom Way, shout outs to the creative space and everything that they're doing. Big things for Guan. Big up yourself. That's besides the point. But good things are happening with Cheyenne Wisdom in the creative space as this overall consensus. Like, they are doing really amazing over there. Just the entire brand is dope, to be honest. But I was a panelist on her web series last year, and a question was posed with me and the other panelist. I really forgot his name, but he's dope too. I'll put it somewhere so you guys can find him. He's a fashion blogger, if I'm correct. I can't really remember. But it was a good episode. It was a dope episode. It was the first episode of that web series. And the question was posed about, what do we do when we experience creative block? And at that point, I literally have never experienced creative block. I mean, I would be out at a lounge. I would be out with friends. I would be out with my significant other, anywhere. On a plane, off a plane, anywhere. On vacation, anywhere. And I was just like, okay, I gotta do this before it leaves my brain. So at that point, I never experienced creative block. And here I am, I'm feeling myself, and I jinx myself. And from that point on up until now, that's all that I've been doing, was having creative block. The creative block was real for an entire year. I'm not kidding you. It was bad. And so for a year, I was struggling between, do I want to continue the podcast? Should I continue the podcast? Is this podcast going anywhere? While also feeling, I gotta put something out there because my voice is not finished being heard, right? And this is everything that I'm experiencing. So it's like, emotions were all over the place. Thoughts were so scattered. And then here it comes, the AFSP. What is that? The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Here it comes, right? So I signed up to partner with the AFSP, and I signed up just to become a part of my local community chapter, as well as being the captain of a team for the suicide prevention walk. And when I did that, I said, this is an episode. This entire experience is an episode. And I'm going to name this Soul Purpose 2.0. Mind you, Soul Purpose 2.0 has been in the works since last year. I'm not going to lie to you. That was supposed to be the very last episode that I put out. But I just couldn't. But for whatever reason, it just wasn't there. But I believe in God's divine timing. Respectfully to anybody who doesn't believe in a higher power, believes in a different higher power, the universe, whatever it may be. What I believe in is in God, and I believe in divine purpose, divine power, just divinity as a whole. I solely, wholeheartedly, believe in that. And I was like, yeah, this is Soul Purpose 2.0. This is the one. Mind you, I already made the graphic a year ago, everything. I said, this is it. Because that entire experience, from preparing to asking for donations, and just shout out to all of my family, friends, everybody that supports me. We have raised $435 to date. The original goal was $150, so that means that we are 290% over the original goal. And everybody that came, we collectively were like, nah, we're going to make this an annual thing. We're going to do this together. This is amazing. It felt so liberating. It was life-changing. It was such an amazing experience just to be there. Of course, there was a bit of sadness. You walk past people in their raw emotions, crying because they were celebrating a life that was no longer there. They were memorializing a loved one. And here you have other suicide attempt survivors who are here with you, because at the end of the day, you are not alone. Even if the person that has attempted suicide successfully, the downside of that is that the loved ones are still here, and now they have to fight for your legacy. And that aspect of it, your family is not alone, and they still aren't alone, because we are still memorializing all of those people, because they still matter. Their legacy, what they leave behind, still matters, right? And it was just, I don't know what to call it besides liberating. That's the only word that I can really think of that describes the entire experience, the day of the walk from start to finish. And I made sure that I went to the very end and came all the way back, because I was suicidal since I was 7. The very first time that I attempted it, I was 7. That's how young it starts in most cases, right? And it wasn't until 2020 where I planned it thoroughly, from every single detail, planned it. And I had a friend who unconsciously is the reason why I did not go through with the plan. And this is where the divinity comes into play, because I solely believe that happened for a reason. Like, that is my belief. That happened for a reason, because if it didn't happen, I feel like it definitely would have been successful. This is just me being honest, transparent, because over here, life is tricky. You have to be transparent. You have to look at yourself. You have to look at everybody else. You have to be transparent. That life is tricky, right? And so 2020, because this was supposed to happen December 15th, I'm about to tell you my birthday. December 15th of 2019, sorry. And after that happened, 2020, the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020 was really tough for me, right? And when I completely overall took myself out of just that negative space, I sat and I prayed. And my prayer was, and I'm going to say, I usually don't say my prayers out loud, because I just feel like that's intimate between myself and God. But I'm going to tell you guys. I prayed for the healing of my mind. I prayed for peace of mind. I prayed for all of the negative energy to leave my body. Literally, I wanted to be purged, spiritually purged from every negative thing. And I just vowed to myself that I will never attempt it. Even if the thought comes, I will never attempt it again. And I did my work. I did my work. And I am proud to say that it is now 2 going on 3 years since my last attempt, and it's 2 years and some change since the thought. I haven't had a suicidal thought actually since 2020, being honest. And it feels good. It feels good because I remember when I was so low, and I just felt like, oh, life isn't worth it. I'm not trying to be here. I do not want to be here. What is the purpose? And that's the thing. I found purpose, right? And I pride myself in the humbleness that I get to experience. Because although it's very humbling and humiliating, on the other side of that, it's a complete opposite, where I'm proud of myself for being an advocate for mental health. I'm proud of myself for being an advocate for suicide, because I remember when there was a time where I didn't necessarily have a safe space, so I would use social media as an outlet, and I would be told, don't put your business out there, people gonna look at you a certain way. And you know what's funny about that? Do you want to know what's funny about that? I don't get looked at weird. I don't get looked at like something's wrong with me when I say to people that I have bipolar disorder. I live with bipolar disorder because I'm not suffering, right? And that I once was suicidal. There are more people that thank me for being so strong and finding strength and being able to speak about what I go through and what I've been through. So 10 years ago, when I didn't know what to do with myself, and I was being judged by people that are supposed to love me, or I'll say they love me, but they did not know how to love me. Let me say that, because they're showing up differently in my life these days, right? And also to add there, this is a sidebar, but it's very important. When somebody is so low, and you see that they are struggling, like deeply struggling, but they're not accepting of the reality of their situation, or they I'm trying to word this carefully. How can I say this? They're hard to get through, right? When you want to help that person so bad, but their pride is just, that wall is up. That pride wall is up and it's not coming down, right? I need you to just be patient. Don't say much. Just be patient, because the words that you speak affect them. While you think that you're helping, you can actually be making it worse. So just be there for them and simply ask, how can I be here for you? If they say you can't, fall back a little bit, but not enough. You still have to be persistent. Let them know, I'm here with you, not for you, with you, because there's a difference, right? With you means that you'll be there every step of the way. For you means that I'll check in with you, but it's not going to be consistent. Although when you say I'm here for you, you usually mean that I'm here with you, but the word and the verbiage makes a difference, right? Continue to tell them that you love them. Continue. Because these are things that will help uplift people that are mentally ill. Even when it's so bad that all they can do is spew negativity onto you, right? So when you're like, I want to be here for you, I love you, and they're like, get out of my face. Like, you can't take that personally, because they're internally going through something that they cannot verbalize just yet. But they know. They just don't feel it. And that's what it's all about. It's all about feeling it. Eventually, that person will come around eventually. At least that's what we hope. So back to the suicide walk. I had a whole spiel. Um, so something happened at the suicide walk, right? And that was the moment where I was like, oh, this is it. I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing, right? So we got beads, and each color bead represented something else, something about suicide. Either you are the ones that is suffering, or you came against it. You're here for a loved one. A loved one passed away, a spouse passed away, a child passed away. It was just a bunch of different colors. They had like a teal, green, they had silver, purple, red, orange. It was just a plethora of colors. And green represents people who suffer with suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts, right? And not even halfway through the walk, right? The beginning of the walk, my green bead. So I had two, I had the teal and I had the green. And my green one just fell off my neck. I don't know how. I didn't pull it. I promise you, it just fell off of my neck, but I still held on to it. Because I'm still here fighting, right? And I go to the bathroom, and two older women, and I want to say they're baby boomers. They might be the generation after baby boomers, which I really can't remember the name of that, but they were definitely around. My mom's not a baby boomer though. Ooh, sorry, Mom. They were older. I'll just leave it at that. And so I realized that one of the women, the ladies, she had a green one. And just me, this is just how I was raised. I was raised that my elders go first, to respect my elders. And so I asked the lady who had the beads. I said, do you want to go to the bathroom first? And she was like, no, you here first. I was like, well, I was taught that elders go first. And she was like, you were raised right, but no, you were in front of us. And her friend goes, what does the green stand for? And I said, what did I say? I didn't say what I meant. No, I said it means to keep going. And the woman that also had the green bead on, she was like, that's a good one. But it just means that you suffer with suicidal thoughts and attempts. And the lady was like, oh wow, I never knew that about you. And I'm assuming that they were friends for a long period of time, just based off of the conversation that they were having while we were waiting to use the restroom. And I said, yeah, mine's popped. I don't know why it popped. I don't know how it popped. It just popped. She was like, yeah, my necklace did too. And I said, I don't know what you believe in or who you believe in, but this is definitely a sign. And she was like, I always get signs and confirmation. And I was like, didn't I say keep going? Didn't I say keep going? I did exactly that. Didn't I say keep going? And she was like, keep going. It was that moment, that very short moment. It was like, wow, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. And so, continue to walk, and along the boardwalk, there was just pictures of a bunch of people who have passed away. And people had banners, people had flags, people had apparel made just in memory of their loved ones. And I'm talking about from young to older people. Like, some look like they were enjoying retirement based off of the pictures. Some people look like, they were happy and whatnot. And it just was really like, wow. And one of the people that were with me that were walking, I can't really remember who, because we didn't have a bunch of people. We had 12 people all together, which includes myself, and I'm so happy about that. Very happy about that. So thank you all to everybody who did walk with me and also donated, like I said in the beginning of the video. But so somebody who was walking with me said, "I'm so happy that I'm walking with you and not for you." And I was like, wow. When it's said a certain way, it is, the impact is just, it's different. And I was like, yo, that's true. That is so true. And that's when I said Soul Purpose 2.0. Soul Purpose 2.0 is what this will be, the title of the episode. Soul Purpose 2.0. And it just amazes me how after I said I'm no longer going to attempt suicide, I use my words carefully, attempt suicide, my entire life literally changed. So I want people to know who struggle and live with mental illness to whatever degree, that there is still life on the other side of what you may be going through. You can still live the life that you desire deep down inside, because I know how it feels to feel like a burden to everybody that I was around, literally everybody I was around, between work and personal. So there was never a balance. I just know how it feels when I'm like, I'd rather be 6 feet under than to open my eyes again. I know how that feels. I know exactly how that feels. I know how it feels to self-sabotage everything because you're so unhappy. So I want people to know that there is hope. There is life. The other side is greener. There is another side that can be greener, and it will be greener because you will do the work just how I did the work. I need everybody to know that, no, the process of healing is very difficult. It's very hard because when you heal, it's a wound. It's like when you scrape your knee, or you get a bruise or something. Well, not a bruise, you get a cut or something. It's something that happens where you bleed out, right? Your tissue, muscle, whatever, all of that has to heal. So you go through that phase of you being able to see the meat that's on the bone and whatnot, all of that stuff, and then it starts to itch and scratch and that ugly phase of healing a wound. All of that happens during the healing process because you are looking at yourself from a different light. You are being honest with yourself, and we all know that one of the toughest things to do is to be honest with yourself. Those 3 fingers that point back at you, point at somebody with those 3 fingers are pointing back at you. I'm not trying to act like it's a gun. I'm just, 3 fingers pointing back at you. That's what's difficult. Because you can't say but you, because the but you is you. But you did this. The but you did this is you. You don't have anybody to blame. You don't have anybody to take fault. No one is taking accountability but you. And that part is hard because you realize that you really had more to do with what was going on than you really think, right? So even, let's say, for instance, if you have mommy and daddy issues, right? You harbored onto it for so long that now it affects you in your adulthood. And after a while, you have to accept that I didn't do what I was supposed to do, to learn, to get the tools, to get the knowledge. So I wouldn't hold on to all of this. So I wouldn't harbor these feelings, right? Because literally, negative thoughts and whatnot, they consume your entire body. That's why sometimes when you go through a depression, you lose weight, your hair thins, your hair falls out. Because it literally is affecting every inch of your body. It's not just affecting your mind, it affects everything. So I need you to do the work so you can live the life that you want to live genuinely, not fake it, but actually live it. And I need you to tell your story, because just how I help people, I want you to help people too. Because there's more people that suffer in silence that are out loud with what is happening in their lives. So that's what Soul Purpose 2.0 is about. Soul Purpose 2.0 is about me realizing that the bigger picture is bigger than me. The bigger picture is bigger than my entire existence, right? So that's why I'm here. That is why I'm here, because God said that I will and I can, so I do. So with that being said, I appreciate you for listening. I appreciate you for tuning in. Life is Tricky isn't dead, baby. Life is Tricky is not dead. You already know where to find me. I'm on all streaming platforms: YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Pandora, all that. I'm on all of that. Don't forget Instagram, Life is Tricky Podcast. The Life is Tricky Podcast on Instagram. I think that's it. I said what I had to say. You know the vibes, you know who I am. I'm Erica Kels Kelly of the Life is Tricky Podcast, and I love you, and I thank you for being supportive every step of the way. Does not go unnoticed.